no hope. Your face been sealed like an envelope. You couldn't hang if you was dangled from a rope with your fucking necks broke. Once again, friends, it's the mezzo-based intellectual wig splitters.
I never would have been a good freestyler. I mean, like, I got learned how by Noodles on my first time. You know, like, if I had this, like, easy thing where I'm, like, battling, like, Squirrel Hill kids at house parties or something like that, I never probably would have become as good as I am now. It was, like, my curve was so high. I mean, it was literally, like, I got tossed off, like, a fucking cliff. You know what I mean? And they were, like, fly. You know? Yeah, so, I mean, it was, like, that shit was, yeah, it worked out. And then, like, Tim went to Philly, to Temple. He met Verbal Tech there. I went to Philly, too, like, right after them. I went to New York for a little bit. I met Cole and Tabs from Double Negative, who were down with Diabolic, who's down with Immortal Technique. So, like, I was, like, doing shit with them up in Long Island. And then I went to Philly, and, you know, like, we like, got back up. We made this group, The Parts of Speech. And by that point, like, we were good. You know what I mean? Like, we had our shit together. We recorded, like, that first EP, started doing all the shows and shit like that, like, at Temple, at Philly, just hitting it real hard. Because at this point, dude, like, you could play out. This was, like, the golden age, at least, for, like, backpack shit. Because you could have that type of style and play out every night. I mean, this is, like, Rhyme Sayers and Def Jux are taking off right now. You got Quantum and Anacon on the West Coast. You know, you got, like, fucking Mole Men, Prime, all those guys in Chicago. Strict Flow is fucking kid. This is like when Noodles was back in Strict Flow, like it was like around like that period or whatever. So you had like Saeed, Masai, Chad, and then Noodles like at the live shows. Like they're touring, they're dropping like their 12-inch. People and Lot comes out. So it's like all this shit is happening. Raucous, Rorschach, Nervous, fucking like all these labels, dude. Like good shit's really happening. Like the underground was bubbling then. Our scene was bubbling then, like how maybe like other like more commercial shit is bubbling now, you know. So like there was an opportunity for us to like play out 4 or 5 nights a week, like spitting like lyrical battle rap in Philly. And like, you know, if I thought like heads in Pittsburgh were ill, dude, Philly people were like 100 times iller. So it was like every show battling, every show fucking like, you know, physical confrontation. I mean, just like going so hard. And we would show up with like 20 dudes. Our people would be like writing shit all over the fucking walls. Like we'd be on stage like battling everybody. It was just like, you know, I mean, we really like, we got raw with it. You know, doing like 2-3 shows a night, like your learning curve. Yeah, I went from doing like, you know, 20 shows in Pittsburgh in like that 1 year to like not even touring or anything, just doing shows in Philly and Pittsburgh. And all of a sudden we're doing like 60, 70, 80 shows in a year, you know, just like really going at it. And then like that expands to like start doing like Columbus, because DJ Prism, may he rest in peace, started hooking us up with some gigs in Columbus. We dropped that 12-inch. It's just like a natural progression. And like I did the battle shit like 2 years after that, but I didn't know like, you know, anything was gonna like come of it. I mean, it was a big deal and like that was what you're supposed to do, but like I had like no expectation that like that shit was gonna be like, you know, like formative to the extent that it was, at least until I got up on stage and I was like in front of more people I'd ever been in my life, and like, you know, just battling people. Whatever my career like was, is, wasn't, whatever, like a lot of it got laid down then, you know, when I was like 20. Which actually, I mean, if you really look at any artist, I think probably that's the truth. Like the moves you make when like you first come in are probably like what's gonna set the stage for like what happens later, you know. Yeah, I mean, like that shit was like crazy, dude. Like, you know, like, and like, you know, the internet's like really coming into play now, you know, like so now all of a sudden like you can see these battles on the internet and stuff like that, and that really like got my name out there, and it really got me into battling, like the technique and the science of battling and like chopping up the freestyles to make them like more technically perfect. And I had a good background in that from Pittsburgh, because like for whatever reason in Pittsburgh, you know, like I said, like we got that like tradition of heads. Like you got like Stretch, Noodles, whole bunch of other dudes, you know, me, like people went real hard here. Ambush was ill off the dome. You know, language and science could get it in too, like every verbs could too, like that, you know, like everyone who was like around, dude, could like really go in, you know what I mean? Like, and it was weird because I go to like shows in other places. Some places were like that, like Cali, like Pittsburgh's almost all more on some Cali shit like that. Like in Cali, everybody was freestyling. Here it was the same deal, so it was like natural for me. So like my curve was so much higher when I came up against national competition to just like fuck them up. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like it wasn't anything for me to do it on a stage because I had been doing it stages, fucking bathrooms, fucking like battling heads in the car, like on the street, like wherever, in class, like, you know, the shit was just like nonstop. You know, so it really like it translated well, and that shit got out overseas. And I mean, that's like what kind of like built the foundation. And then like I hooked up with Manifest in Baltimore and dropped the first album, you know, and like that shit all kind of happened in conjunction. Started getting a little further out of town, you know, like still not going anywhere really, like Baltimore, Cleveland, New England a couple times, you know, but like the circle widens like ever more. Hooked up with Icon the Mic King. That was like huge, you know, because he's like my best friend in rap, and one of my best friends, period. You know what I mean? But like, you know, Icon and Times from Elevated Minds, who was like down for whatever and had a car. Yeah, he didn't give a fuck. Like, I mean, he would literally be like, Times would be like, yo, like, he'd call you up and be like, dude, like, you know, like, there's a show in New York tomorrow, like, for free, let's go. And then, like, while you're in New York, you'd hear about, like, there's this show in, like, fucking Chapel Hill, and he'd be like, let's go. And then in Chapel Hill, like, it's like straight up like Settlers or something, like Oregon Trail status. Chapel Hill, you'd run into like a tour with like somebody on Rhymesayers, and they'd be like, we're going out to like Nebraska or whatever. We'd be like, what, how long do we have to get there? 2 days? All right, let's go. I mean, dude, I remember back in the day, like, I'd go somewhere, and like I'd be like one of the only Americans who ever went there. You know, it's like anytime you do that, you know you're gonna have a good show, because like they're like, oh, you're like the second American, you're the first American, like you're the third. It would always be like Afu Raget's out there, dude. He tours a lot. Because I remember I went on tour with him in Poland too, and Germany, and he was killing it. We were going to like random places in Poland, and there'd be like packed audiences of people just going fucking buck wild. But yeah, like, you know, I'd go somewhere and they'd be like, Afu Ra was first, you were second. Like, all right, it's good enough for me, dog. Let's get it. You know, but like, you know, J. Rue the Damager was first. You are second. I mean, the dudes who are dope at freestyling, like, I mean, they're still good, dude. Like, yeah, I mean, like, you got like the Freestyle Fellowship going around. I mean, shit, as long as fucking me and Icon are touring, we're gonna keep it real. No Can Do. You know what I mean? Like, Immaculate, like all the Thesaurus, like those dudes can fucking freestyle. They can freestyle straight up, they can freestyle about things, they can freestyle mix it in, they can do any type of off the dome shit you need them to do. You know what I mean? Me, Icon, the same. I don't think it's dead, I just think that it's different. But like, dude, I'll go overseas though, man, and I did the end of the week in Brazil and Argentina. And these dudes are going hard, like over there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not dead. Maybe here people just don't give as much of a fuck anymore. I mean, because like anything you see, dude, I see videos that say freestyle on them, and it's a choreographed video. You know what I mean? Which for me, I'm just like, that's a bunch of fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? I never trucked with that. Remember back in the day, you did that shit. I mean, that was like instant. Like the fucking hook came and like pulled your ass off the stage. Yeah, dude, like. Yeah, I think here maybe, yeah, like with anything else, like a lot of that, like the arts of like the previous golden era underground, newer people aren't as familiar with, dude. But like you go other spots though, man, and heads go hard on the freestyling, dude. Like, because that's pretty much like when I go out to play now, dude. I do like that whole Dose Down freestyle experience thing. So that's like people book me so they can hear me try to like experiment and do different shit with freestyling. So like, I mean, you know, like wherever the fuck I end up, there's still a market for it, because like those are the people that want to see me. And it's places as disparate as Japan, fucking Beirut, and South America and Europe, wherever. So, you know what I mean? Like, obviously something's still going on.